Welcome back everyone to Summer Segment Scramble 2, Round 2, Day 2. I'm Stormraid. I'm here together with my good friend Rick Giles, and we are pleased to bring you another very exciting matchup. We do have Crab1k versus goxaviergo, and that should be a really good one. I am excited for that. What about you, Rick?
I mean, I'm always excited for a Crab1k match personally, and then Xavier also being a pretty solid runner too. This should make for a good match.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and I'm really hyped to see how the veto plays out. Rick, take it away. You're in charge.
Sure thing, buddy. All right, Xavier, you are the lower seeded player, so you get the option of choosing who bans first.
I will let Crab1k start.
All right, Crab1k, what would you like to ban first?
Countryside.
All right. Fair choice. Xavier. Okay. Crab.
Stun jumps.
Okay.
Grab a percent.
Blitz play.
Good choice. All right, Xavier.
Fresh meat.
Very good. Crab, go ahead.
Sword way.
Okay. And Xavier, what is the final ban?
All races.
So close. But it looks like we will be running deep inside. Do you have any opinions on this Storm?
It could have been so good. I was never as hopeful we'd actually get to see our races, especially it's like a console runner against like, I mean, I don't want to like shit on console runners in general, but with them having like a little bit of a natural disadvantage in RNG heavy segment, like our races could have been like really cool. And I believe the PBs aren't even that far apart in that segment. I really did see it coming there, but I mean, I'm not complaining about Deep Inside either. We only had it once, right?
Yeah, that is true, but I will say I am personally surprised that Xavier did choose to ban all races. Like, I expected him to go for that, because it's probably the one of the categories where he'd have a better chance.
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised, but hey, believe in the power of the I Fought the Lord break boost, and maybe there's still a chance. I definitely am excited. Well, my favorite in this matchup is clear, but I do not think that this will necessarily be a stomp. We're going to be seeing the PBs on screen, of course, in the main matchup. For now, all there's really left to say is for the runs to get their save files and for us to, jump into a short post-veto video before we'll be back in roughly 90 seconds.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is time for the second Deep Inside of this tournament. Crab1k versus Xavier. This should be a very exciting match considering how close their PBs are. That 1 second difference. Like, wow, I thought all races was going to be the way to go, but I think this is going to be the more exciting choice. That being said, Storm, would you like to go ahead and get into the countdown so we can see how this race will turn out?
Absolutely, and I can't wait. Alrighty. I hope both of you are ready.
Yep, we are ready.
Yes.
Very cool. I'll be counting down as always from 3 down to go. On go, you unpause, skip the cutscene, and then we get this under the way. In that case, 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, best of luck to these two runners.
Off they go. And yeah, we did realize it just when the PBs actually appeared on screen automatically, how incredibly close they are. I actually cannot believe it that it's that close. Didn't expect that really, right? Me
neither. I expected Xavier's PB to be like something like at least 30 seconds behind, but no, wow, 1? I have a very good feeling we're not going to see anything this close for the remainder of the tournament. Although, of course, it's might not be as close as it looks. It seems that Crab1k is just managed to pull out quite the gap between these two runners so far. Like, yeah, Xavier is hitting the brake boosts, but it does look like Crab1k being on PC, having those extra frames, is making the difference in speed. So he's gotten quite the boost, and there is already a gap between these two, and it is 1 minute in.
Yeah, you really see the power of these first break boosts. I don't want to say that maybe Xavier is like also like, you know, grinding for this PB a little more than Crab1k did, but I would not be surprised. He did have way more unsubmitted on SRC than Crab1k, but yeah, like I thought the law in particular, I was Xavier had pretty good times for console, and it doesn't seem to make such a huge difference. But Crab1k is a monster on this mission. I still remember that from back in the day. I think his Seagull was the one that I actually properly learned this mission and these break boosts with, and I used to just not be able to fathom how it was possible to be that fast. It should be so good. Like you can just like sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah, this should be pretty entertaining. I think the biggest upset though is probably going to be, in my opinion, I think it's going to be the Mr. Richard switch, because there's one spot where Xavier can have an advantage by making his own save file since he is on console. He, in theory, could set things up to manipulate, or not, maybe not manipulate, but to give himself the best chance he can of getting a good switch. Oh wait, hold on, I gotta correct myself, that doesn't even matter. He's on console, which means he can actually just hang out work with Michael right after Eye in the Sky, so he does not even need to worry about RNG there.
Yeah, I actually don't know how this compares to the random switches that we have on the very few one that we have on Mr. Richards available to us, but I do think like a really good outside switch is still gonna be slightly faster probably for Crab1k. I don't know, I never really bothered to time those.
That could be true, but the odds of that are quite low.
Yeah. We did have an argument about that, didn't we?
I have argued that before. Like, unless you get, I guess, insanely good times, you're probably going to get worse switch with the summer segment scramble save file.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not sure. We'll see, I suppose. Not too long until we head there as Crab1k overshoots it a little on the...
I'm coming.
Falls off the bike.
On
This
the
could be the
wheelies.
death sentence. I would let Xavier pull ahead.
And he does mission fail. Yeah.
Wow! I don't believe it.
Wow, and this is what we're talking about. We're having a 1 second difference between these two races, at least on paper. And Crab1k, of course, defending champion of Summer Segment Scramble 1 and all, but at least in the first game, looked a little shaky at least. I don't know how good his form is if he practiced since then, but this could really be a difference maker, these 30 seconds maybe, or maybe even a little more that he lost here. Xavier now is just ahead like that, and we'll see if Crab1k can manage to catch back up, especially with the aforementioned RNG.
Yeah, it's not every day when you get to see a race where a runner goes from
And we gotta stick with it. We
fairly
gotta stop
decently
sometime.
well ahead to well
We gotta
behind.
stop sometime.
That just doesn't happen often, especially in a category like Deep Inside.
Yeah, exactly. I do remember a similar instance in Summer Segment Scramble 1, although back then the odds obviously being like nowhere close to comparable what happened between Balux and Riggy, where the favorite in that sense just, you know, had a fairly fatal mistake in the very beginning, got set back by, you know, multiple seconds. I think back then was like a minute because Balux failed first drive. This is not as severe, but still, it's like a similar kind of concept. But the PBs being so close, I still cannot really grasp.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder what these runners' strengths and weaknesses are that makes it look like they even out. Like, who's better in what part? Like, I would have pinned Crab1k for just smoking Xavier and I Fought the Law after that first drive, but now that seems to not be the case. And then if their PBs are so similar that Xavier can easily compensate for a slower I Fought the Law in other places, that could very well mean he's just going to shoot ahead even further in these next missions. I suppose not so much during Eye in the Sky. There's not much you can do there, even on console, but yeah, Mr. Richards could very well be like a final nail in the coffin.
It very well could be. We're going to be paying very close attention to that. I was gonna say, there's just really not a lot where console, the inherent disadvantage the platform has, really makes too much of a difference here. In this category, it's like a very drive heavy. It's like, console obviously the FPS, I suppose, but we can see Xavier's managing very, very well on I Fought the Law.
Yeah, it's going to take Crab1k some pretty serious speed here to catch up. Although, considering how long this drive is, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, it could be possible that Crab1k could be caught up by the end of this mission.
Yeah, totally. I was going to say the same. It did actually look like he, caught up to Xavier a bit on the bike section. It's like slightly better driving, pathing, wheeling potentially. But yeah, he's having a lot of speed. Like he's flying here. Don't mind me, so Xavier, but it looks like Crab1k is doing slightly better.
Yeah, like Xavier is driving quickly for sure, like very quickly, but Crab1k might just be on another level. Like he might still be a tier above, even when you think there isn't another tier to go to.
Yeah, really. Like just to clarify, not meaning to, in any way talk down on Xavier here. I think he's doing amazing, but honestly, Crab1k, he's just fabulous almost with these brake boosts. Like it's actually really, really impressive how he manages this car. And had it not been for the little mishap on the bike, I almost would have been worried about the potential time there. This is looking wicked.
Yeah. At the rate things are going, that's a good brake boost from Crab. That might be what he needs to catch up.
That was really
keep up this momentum.
We can compare at the end of I Fought the Law how big the difference actually is. It's both of them just continuously grabbing really, really good brake boosts. Definitely better than I could have done this. I never really was too good at this mission, I shall say. It's like always decent, but never too good.
Yeah, me neither. It feels like I'm always losing at least a minute to a good runner here.
Yeah, wow. Xavier with the, I don't even know how you could call it, like underpass brake boost. I know that Unnamed used to go for this a lot. Let's see if Crab1k can hit the same. Doesn't look like he got as much out of it, but still, yeah, the speed is incredible.
Yeah, it looks like at the end of the day, Xavier is still ahead with what looks to be about an 8:15-ish I Fought the Law.
Exactly.
Which means
so
Crab is going to be about
seconds-ish.
10 to 15 seconds behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like 15 seconds difference.
Yeah.
Wow. Alright. RNG time. Let's see what cars these two runners are going to get on the way to Eye in the Sky. It looks like Xavier got a Phoenix, which is looking pretty good.
Yeah, you take those, and he did have to run a little bit, but looking at Crab1k's screen, he has to run a little
Crab, on the
more.
other hand, starved for traffic, because he does have the privilege of being able to run on with lower traffic settings, but that is biting him in the ass as he does have less car selection. Xavier weaving through traffic as Crab1k is weaving through, making a difficult choice on which car to take. You did see him hesitate on the Tornado and end up abandoning it for something else.
Yeah,
so that means
sure
Xavier's pulling even further ahead now. Yeah, I didn't see the name. Prius looking ass car.
Yeah, it really is. I thought at first it was the one that you have on the, like, by default given to the game, that the game gives you by default on HAO one, but no, it's like a slightly worse one for sure, and Crab1k is struggling with the brake boosts.
Xavier gets dialogue skip. So yeah, it looks like for the next 8-ish minutes that is just boring helicopter flight, Xavier is going to be ahead. Let's see how Crab fares on this entry. Does not have enough speed to make the jump. That is very unfortunate.
I don't even think this car can brake boost, so that's probably the reason for it. I still don't know the name. Maybe people in chat. Yeah, Blister, alright, yeah, and cannot brake boost indeed.
Thank you. Interesting, it seems since Crab did die on, or not die, but mission fail on I Fought the Law, he did not have the time of day cutscene for Eye in the Sky. Slight advantage given back to him, but it's clearly not going to be enough to catch him back up. So, as we both go in, or have both of these runners go into the long and boring Eye in the Sky helicopter section, Xavier just looking up into the sky, really putting in the sky emphasis on that. Probably
he really
to get there faster though.
Yeah,
like I definitely aim high too. It does make a
do
bit
you?
of difference, at least on the end,
Really
because
interesting, I don't
I
know.
think the more like horizontal or like parallel with the curvature of the Earth, or the not the curvature of the Earth. Of course, San Andreas is flat, but if you stay like level with the horizon, you do move more like forward instead of just downward, which does give you a bit of a time advantage at the end. Small thing.
Right.
Like you can see both these runners doing it, like not aiming directly at the little blue squares, but rather above. So that way you can clear over the building that's hiding the first target.
Interesting. Yeah, obviously not a lot going on in this section in general, so even the Microsoft strats we do care about here. As both of them are just on their way to scan the required people for this section. Hard to tell if Xavier actually saved a little bit more time here or not.
Perhaps. Hard to say, though.
Yeah.
But either way, we're going to have to find a way to pad some time, because at this point, there is nothing strat-wise. It's... I'm sorry, I got distracted by Hostel calling me, basically, I'm going to dumb down his message. He's calling me a sweaty tryhard, even though he does say he respects it. Yeah, respect the sweat. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, you should. You should definitely. And honestly, I mean, there's not much to say about this. I'm glad we're doing no Omo in SSS2, but
For sure, we needed to change.
Missions like these.
Perhaps we can find a compromise for the next summer segment scramble.
You may only Omo Eye in the Sky.
Ironically, one of the worst Omos as well nowadays, considering how easy the fastest setup is.
Yeah, I never really liked Eye in the Sky Omo, the entry. Not a huge fan personally, but well, is it better than sitting around for like 10 minutes? Probably.
Yeah.
We have lost sight of the suspect. Might have to send Pilot Boy down.
Xavier, meanwhile, already. Well, not Xavier himself, but obviously his target already arriving at the garage. Honestly,
Garage
looks
one.
like the mission fail and the car RNG. That should have made a significant difference, but it doesn't look like Crab1k is too far behind. He seems to be like slowly but surely catching up a little bit. Maybe
Yeah,
slightly
it does look
better
like
menuing.
a 30-ish second time difference, which I don't know if there's much place to save 30 seconds. It really depends on
Yeah.
Xavier's performance from here on out.
That's the other thing, right? There's just, I don't want to say a lot of auto-scrollers, but on Kaida there isn't too much to save either.
Yeah, the big thing, it could have been console load times, as there is a replay warp in this segment now, but even then, Xavier is on the newest gen, which has finally caught up in terms of loading speed, so there might not be a difference there. In fact, Xavier might be able to match or beat Crab1k's PC, depending on how good of an SSD and overall hardware Crab has.
Yeah,
Aspect
looking at
on-
his mission skips times, he probably has a pretty good one. But
I
yeah,
suppose.
I do think that Crab1k is still going to be slightly out of loads, but at that point it's such a micro thing that, yeah, as you said, it shouldn't make a difference. So yeah, I guess it really has to be, or not has to be, of course, but the RNG could be a very deciding factor. With like Crab1k getting Nightmare Switch could potentially be enough to really screw him over here.
Yeah, I'd say Nightmare Switch could be a death sentence, but considering how solid his run has been so far, I don't know if that's going to happen. Like, I feel like it is fairly prone to happen with Summer Segment Scramble save file, but that could just be a slower runner thing. I'm really, really curious now, and I'm almost going to be biting my nails when we get to that part.
Yeah, I do hope that he doesn't get Nightmare, because we're obviously looking forward to a close game. And, well, if Nightmare really ends up being the, well, predicted run killer, then we obviously would not want to see that. But there's also, like, still plenty of things to scrub for both of them. Like, for example,
For
the
sure.
drive back, which is very, very sensitive, isn't it?
That is very true. And Crab might even have a little more trouble than usual, because one important thing to note, he will be doing this drive during the morning / perhaps even daytime. due to
True.
that time of day difference and not having the time of day cutscene.
Fucking asshole.
That is one important thing to remember.
Near parking garage. Suggest ground team clear the building.
I
Buddy, lower our
think he will manage because
Oh,
traffic,
for sure.
even at night, traffic on this drive isn't really too friendly to you.
Mhm.
But I gotta say, as you say, it's these small things, and for a drive like that, I guess we can talk about it already now. The car that we're stealing right now, this is a car steal mission to like slightly dive into the lore. The car that we're stealing here is very, very valuable. So minor damage to the car does cause you to mission fail because Devon just expects an insane condition for this one.
Need some help here,
Not sure why in particular, because on I Fought the Law he does not give two shits, but here he does, and
Well, you might have concerned yourself for
we've
Yeah, it's,
seen many tragic
interesting
fails.
But that being said, I do think requiring the car to be in good condition, that is a good design choice because it adds like at least some level of difficulty to this game almost. Like people will remember failing
I've got you.
a little bit or maybe struggling a bit with
Another heat source.
Eye in the Sky at the end. Which honestly is a good change of pace after the shit show that is flying around in a helicopter for 8 minutes. Not even flying it actually, you just point
Yeah,
the
you
camera.
just sit there, you just tell, yo, go there.
Yeah, like why is this mission a mix of great game design and piss garbage?
Yeah, it really is, but yeah. This is really a very, very cool drive, so let's see how well Xavier manages. Doesn't get a whole lot of speed, plus did, you know, crash into a car previously, so he wants to be careful here.
For sure.
Crash at high speed could end up being fatal.
We'll see.
Let's hope for the best.
But yeah, either way, it's either going to be a close match or we're going to see the first upset of the tournament. Because so far we have not had any lower seed player beat a higher seed player, but if Crab does fall further behind with bad RNG, we could see that for the very first time.
Indeed, indeed, and once again, this would be one of the most surprising ones, I feel like. In terms of seeding, they're not that far, you know, away from one another, but just in terms of just, like, I feel like what you think when you look at this, because, well, both of these are very good runners, especially in their respective fields. We're still looking at Crab1k, someone who we still consider one of the best players we have in this game, winner of Summer Segment Scramble 1, who just now failed the stop
Yeah,
straight, so this is very unfortunate, has to back off
I was
actually a
trouble
little bit.
getting
Yeah. Against, if you want to be as demeaning as possible, a console runner, and that is just a really, really surprising one. I did think this could be a close one, but I did not think we would get a potentially first upset here.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was not quite expecting it either. Maybe if I'd known how good Xavier's PV was here, I might have said otherwise, but yeah, going into the veto, I was super surprised by Xavier's choice, but now it's seeming like almost a no-brainer.
Yeah, he's very good at it, evidently, and you know, the struggle on Crab1k's side did help him, but yeah, even on paper...
That
they
being
were
said,
pretty
Crab
matched.
does get an outside switch, the time of day RNG, where it switches up the switch table. That being said, I think this outside switch might almost be as bad as house switch, considering he's in a shitbox of a car and further away from
Yeah, I
Solomon
don't
than he would be
think
at the
this
house.
saved him a lot of time compared to house, which maybe a little bit. He does actually pick up a bike on his way.
Yeah,
I'm
not a
sure
bad
we can
choice,
get
but that
this.
being said, this looks like a Vader? No, Nemesis.
Nemesis,
That's not a great bike. Like, it's a
No.
bit above the Vader, but it's not even as good as the Thrust. So, quite unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. Obviously, Xavier in the meantime did arrive at the mission already, both of them going for
Yeah.
the replay warp.
We did not see Xavier make a mission replay, did we?
I believe we did. I was paying attention
Oh,
to
okay.
Crab1k's screen, but I'm pretty sure we did see him do it. So I think
I guess
they're
we'll
up to
find out in
date.
10 minutes.
We will. And yeah, we should see a small difference in route. Ooh, that hurts. That is a painful one. Not really his fault. Cutting it very close, of course. But we should
Yeah,
be
thankfully
seeing it
he's not on a
routes.
bike.
Yeah, he would be dead now. And yeah, we can totally see it. Crab1k diverging to the right to go for the repo jump. Sending
Yeah.
it flying.
We have not seen this too often. It's been a while since our last Trevor percent race.
Yeah,
I
it has
suppose as
been.
things get closer, people might be more apprehensive to run Trevor percent due to its difficulty in strats.
Yeah, exactly. It almost feels like nowadays you might need to pull off a switch warp, at least if your opponent does so. Scary one for Crab1k here. See,
Yeah.
shakes his camera a little.
I mean, Xavier having a bit of an upset with the crash. That's one other important thing of note. I don't think, Xavier's locked to 60 frames per second, so I don't think he'll be going for ladder launch strat. That will actually give Crab1k an advantage.
As
So we
say
might
that,
see him
he
catch up a
seemingly
little
does.
bit. Oh wait, no, hold on. Xavier's going for it anyway. Apparently, okay, a chat saying he might go for Michael's power to go for it. Really curious about the setup.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
totally.
using Michael's power. Wow, he just... I'm impressed.
Yeah, honestly, I did not know there was a thing.
That is some serious ingenuity right there.
Yeah, console runners making sure they can also...
And
You
Jesus,
know.
maybe we should have banned external frame limiter on PC.
I don't recognize him.
just to, enhance development of new strats. Very cool, but yeah, they're not too far apart actually. Like, I think
Yeah, I
Crab1k
think the
once
app
again
is
caught up a
closing.
little.
I guess that Nemesis did give him a bit of an advantage. A Nemesis to outplay his Nemesis.
Oh,
It's a-
very, very good play of words there. I really do like that. And yeah, totally. I think we should just pay attention to the mission pass window, when they end this mission to actually determine how far apart they are, but this definitely looks like less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, depending on if either of these players is a decent, slightly better helicopter pilot, then we might see a bit more of a catch-up from Crab1k. Like, I guess that's another thing. Crab1k can go for the swaying strat in a helicopter because he's on PC,
True.
if he's using keyboard for flight at least. I don't know if he is. I know a lot of PC players do like to use controller. But no, there he goes. He is doing it.
Yeah, I'm happy. I don't think I personally ever did this too much. It's like, whatever. I don't like flying enough, may as well just...
Well, you don't fly much in DM categories, do you?
We don't unless we have to. I mean, that does depend. Also, it's not like I only run this crap, man.
Come on, I gotta give you a little trash for it.
Yeah, you do. It's fine. It's fine. I stand proudly by it.
But yeah, that being said, I
And-
did look at the timer, and these runners are now 8 seconds apart.
Very good.
That's 8
because I
times
totally
or
forgot.
PB difference.
Yeah, that is true. Although that statement sounds very horrific if not caught up on the PBs, just didn't pay attention to them or something. 8 times what? No, they really are just 1 second apart.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, and that's not even like a up-to-date thing. Those PBs are up-to-date as far as we are aware. By public knowledge.
Could be, of course, people having unsubmitted runs. I think Crab1k was a little bit older too, but these are the most up-to-date ones on SRC at least, so
Yeah, that's the best info we've got.
yeah, good representation of this skill, one might say. And okay. Flying. Crab1k has cops. I'm
He'll
not
be
sure
fine.
why.
Yeah,
of
it's because he
course.
did tab movement after the mission.
Oh, right. Yeah, I wasn't paying too close attention to that. Very interesting, I gotta say. Crab1k, of course. Well,
Looks like
I
he's
don't.
caught up a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like they're 8 seconds apart anymore. This will come down, or who's ahead will come down to who has a smoother landing into the marker.
Exactly, and I guess with the. Yeah, wow, they're really neck and neck now. Let's see this. Xavier gets a perfect entry.
Yeah,
Crab1k
Crab's
slow
going
down a little
bit.
bit.
Okay.
2 seconds.
You need anything?
Wow. Okay, this is shaping up to be a really, really good one. Wow.
Yeah, I just did a look. Yeah, they are 3 to 4 seconds apart from each other now. It is
Yeah.
that close.
I'm gonna lean forward a little bit now because I'm actually excited as this, well, on paper still a fairly boring segment, apart from the very grand start of it, of course, and I fought the law.
Yeah.
Actually giving us perfect entertainment here, potentially to the finish line.
For sure.
Gotta say
This
though,
might come down to a retime.
yeah, it might. I'm glad that we no longer have the RNG, the car RNG after the hospital warp in this segment, but they will just replay warp our way in there, and they're gonna be fine that way because seeing runners lose to the car RNG there after the hospital was always like a little bit painful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
okay, well,
Good riddance to that part.
we will have to see. It is fairly linear from here onwards. Looks like they've actually got a little bit of a better flight.
Yeah, looks like Crab's going in on the passenger side, which honestly, that might be the way of doing things.
It did look a little faster. I was gonna say, like when they landed, it looked like he was more like 5 seconds behind, but now it's.
It
It looks like they're 2 seconds apart.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think he saved a little bit of time there. Yeah, let's see if they can both. I mean, one would hope so, but there's always things that can go wrong. Clean this shot properly.
Oh my god, it is so close. Like that's like
Actually,
1
oh yeah,
second.
Crab1k missed.
Oh, he misses. Never mind.
I was gonna say, it triggered the cutscene so early. It did look a little weird. He did miss indeed. I did not expect that.
Wow.
And that brings us. I don't want to say like a 10 seconds, but like, closer to 10 seconds.
It's 5 seconds.
Yeah, roughly. So yeah, obviously still action-packed as hell. And yeah, as the question is also raised in chat, I do believe the thing that made them, so even again is just really slightly more optimal gameplay from Crab1k and potentially also PC in general. I don't know, I'm checking loading times or being able to maneuver maybe the heli at on eye in the sky a little better.
Yeah,
I know I, for
will
example,
have an easier time turning and wheeling here, so this might give him a slight advantage.
I was gonna say that the bike mechanics, I'm not sure how much they, how different they are on console, but it is very comfy and easy to do on keyboard.
For sure. Yeah, it's hard to wheelie and you can't wheelie and turn at the same time on a console due to controller limitations. You can't like hold I guess you could sort of go for an in-between, like down right on the stick, but even then you're probably only getting partial of each.
Yeah, I'm really unsure, and looking at their direct comparison, yeah, it once again looks to be like, let's just say around 5 seconds. We just don't need to be that precise about it, as they're both just chasing after the crashing jet. Obviously hard scripted.
Basically on top of each other. This could come down to we could see Crab1k almost maybe pull ahead with slightly better PC aim, shooting down the last of the jet survivors.
Yeah, that could be the case. I don't know how, if even there is auto aim at all while you're riding the bike. I don't think there is, but it's not a hard shot, of course. But that could potentially be a difference maker. And then, of course, same applies to deep inside, right? There's also a couple of guards to take out. Gonna be interesting to see.
Well, of course, on deep inside, you don't have to take them out. It's just you're more likely to die if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. As we.
Oh no! Buffer. Hopefully, this will not make retiming a problem.
I hope it's not a game crash of some kind.
No,
because we did have that on third way. Did it? Okay, that makes me happy.
Xavier's saying, "Fuck in chat. This is not good." But he does have local recording. Thank God.
Local recording. Stream
I swear,
died.
Stream died. Wow. Shit. We might have to wait until the end of the day to figure out who won. Xavier, go ahead and I guess finish the run with the local recording and ping us in a Summer Segment Scramble 2 talk when you're done. We will drag you back in and we can talk about your run and you can give us your final time.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're going to be able to recover the stream while doing this race.
Yeah, I definitely prefer finishing up the race. We're most likely going to have to cut to intermission before we can resolve this. Have a little talk about it, but let's not make that ruin our entertainment here. That really could have been, that kind of robbed us of a really, really good one. But
yeah,
obviously
I am fairly disappointed.
Yeah, like obviously nothing anyone can do about these things. That just happens in an online tournament. It's gonna have to account for these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
maybe if Xavier manages to make his way to the final four, we'll have to cut him some of that prize money so he can get himself a streaming PC.
That would certainly be preferable. But yeah, I don't know what exactly the tech issues are.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Big shame, big shame.
Yeah, like both of Xavier's runs just plagued with problems like immediate game crash on his first race. Like, what are the odds of that? I didn't even know console could really crash.
Yeah, same. I was really surprised by that, but I mean, what can you do? That's quite the way to start the tournament, really.
For sure.
And now this, really, really painful. To be down to what is happening for Crab1k. That was a little weird. Keep in mind, we're still racing here. Like, it may not be on screen. It may look like a win for Crab1k, but we're still racing here.
Yeah, the race is still going. We will get a final time from Xavier, I assume. I'm assuming he's running with some sort of timer going. But hopefully he is.
I do hope so too. We're seeing how we handled this tech-wise, but yeah, Crab1k did set up the replay well properly. I wasn't sure at first if it was maybe a little bit too close, but he did do his homework. It's not gonna be, of course, a little less protected on the bike.
Deep inside on the bike, he's a little more dangerous, but he does get through. Hardly takes any damage, in fact.
Yeah, right. Really surprised me too.
The more difficult part for him is looking like getting around this corner. That flip could cost him the race, depending on how close Xavier is.
Yeah, I almost want to say Crab1k really, I don't want to say that necessarily mistakes, but there were really mishaps here in these final stages that could cost him. We won't know. In a sense, it's a lot more exciting, but obviously not the outcome we would have preferred here.
Yeah, that is for sure.
Yeah, okay, wow, and see this final drive, honestly, both of them, despite, not getting a very optimal, I guess Xavier doesn't have to worry about switches, but Crab1k, despite getting like a slightly unoptimal switch, not a good bike, and the i4 mishap, surprisingly close to his PB in the end. Let's see what his final time is gonna be.
Looks like it's gonna be maybe like a 33 flat-ish.
Yeah, no, around that. I was gonna say, I keep underestimating how long this end actually takes.
Yeah, it takes a bit, so a little over 33.
Yeah.
Get ready, tech.
Tech hopefully ready. 3306. All right.
We got a message in SSS2 talk.
It's not Xavier.
Nothing from Xavier.
That would have been harsh.
Yeah, where is Xavier saying he's done? Oh, he's in Twitch chat. Tie? What? All right. Let's drag Crab1k in.
Okay, I don't think that's going to be a tie, because if Xavier has 3306 on his live split, then it's most likely Crab1k that won, because the on-screen timer is not perfectly synced, of course, with live split.
All right, we have Xavier saying he got a 3306.9 according to his timer. We are using Summer Segment Scramble like live feed to. You can go ahead and stop the timer now, by the way, tech. But yeah. We are certainly going to need retime for this. We need to firstly see Xavier's uploaded recording and ensure that it is the same as what we saw on stream earlier. And then we will have to verify times for both runners. So I don't think we're going to have a definitive answer on who won for at least a few hours, considering Xavier will have to upload his footage before we can get started.
I want to say, let us cut to intermission quickly.